Lastly, I'd like to add that my team and I have been in continual contact with the families and have had the opportunity to learn what amazing people Julian and Ethan were. They were great kids. They were locals, both Las Vegas high school graduates. Both were continuing their educations at UNR with promising futures. What I've learned is that both made such positive impacts on everyone that met them and the neighborhoods they grew up in. This collision not only took their lives, but it left their lives of their loved ones forever incomplete. To the families of Julian and Ethan, I'd like to say these two young men were the type of kids that every parent wishes for. And I know you guys are proud of them. Now I'd like to introduce Ethan's mother, Janelle Velasquez, who will be speaking on behalf of both families. And then after her remarks, we'll take a couple questions, okay?
Ethan was a bright life in our lives, full of promise and potential. At just 19 years old, he was excited about returning for his second year at UNR. He was always eager for new experiences and adventures, and his love for the outdoors and snowboarding brought him so much joy. Julian had just graduated from LVHS and was set to join Ethan at UNR. Ethan and Julian were not just students. They were cherished sons and loyal friends to many. We had plans to take a trip together before Ethan returned to college, a chance to create more memories and spend precious time together. Instead of planning that trip, I find myself planning his funeral. This unimaginable loss has left a void in our hearts that can never be filled. Ethan and Julian's lives were precious, and they brought so much joy to their family and friends. I am asking for the community's help in finding the person responsible. Ethan and Julian deserve justice, and our families need closure to begin healing from this tragedy. Please call Crime Stoppers with any information you have that may lead to his arrest. Thank you.
All right, before we conclude the press conference, we will open it up for some questions. The family won't be doing any questions or interviews today, and so I'd just like to ask that we respect their privacy. But before we would start, I'd just like to remind everyone that we're still very early on in this investigation, and so I might not be able to answer every question, but I'll try. Yes, sir?
What's the biggest obstacle right now trying to find the suspect?
Just the fact that, so we have a lot of cooperations from family and friends. He's not in contact with any of them, so we believe he's still here in town. We don't believe he's fled to any other state or country or anything like that. My guess is he's scared. He doesn't know what's going to happen, and that it's his fear of not wanting to come forward that is keeping him on the run.
Sir, I just want to make sure the suspect, did you say he ran a red light? Is that...
Yes, he ran a red light. Yes, he was traveling south here, and Ethan and Julian were traveling west. As they entered the intersection on a green light, he entered southbound on a red light.
So no evidence right now that the suspect knew the two victims?
No, there's no connection.
How quickly were you able to determine that this was your suspect with a degree of certainty?
So with any hit and run investigation, they're pretty complex investigations, and there's two major parts of it: identifying the vehicle involved, and then identifying the driver that's in actual physical control of that vehicle at that time. This was easy with the vehicle because it was left here on scene. Now we've got to start trying to piece together who was driving, and one of the ways we do that is look for the owner of the vehicle. We interview multiple witnesses, photo lineups, other investigative techniques where we are able to positively identify, gathering video, sort of thing like that, interviewing family, friends, and that's able to help us identify him positively. And that's kind of what was the delay with pushing this out to you guys, was we didn't want to do that without being certain that we could put him behind the wheel. I'll take one last question and then we'll wrap it up.
Do you have any idea how he was able to just basically disappear at 7 o'clock in the morning?
So this collision actually happened at 2:42 in the morning is when it was reported to our dispatch center. Obviously, he was not so injured where he was able to flee on foot. We don't know what his injuries are, but at that time in the morning, the people that were here, the witnesses, were more worried about Ethan and Julian than they were about trying to take somebody into custody. Medical personnel and officers arrived pretty quick, but at that point he had already been gone, and obviously there's a lot of places to hide here. So, all right, that'll conclude for today. Again, I really appreciate you guys coming out and pushing this out for us, and we will be sending out a updated press release with all the information and proper spellings and everybody's name here shortly. All right, thank you guys.